What's going on, everyone? So we're waiting around to see how are the Lakers going to address the center position. There have been recent reports about hey, maybe Alex Len is an option. He's not signing with the Indiana Pacers anymore, and he probably the best option out there, for being honest. Did a whole video on that information. If you want to see that, go check that out after this video, of course. I do think that there's something there, and if we do sign him, then I'll do a more in-depth, how does he fit, and, what type of player he is. But just if you want the information, then go check out that video, again, after this one. But Rob Pelinka, right? He's got to try to find a path. He's got to try to figure it out. A spokesperson recently had a report with Dave McMenamin that talked about, hey, we need to find a way. There's always a path. There's always a way. We just got to kind of navigate that and do our due diligence, do our homework, right? Do the work to find that path. Once we find that path, we'll be able to figure it out. Maybe that path is Alex Len, right? Like I've talked about, right? There are centers out there that are probably looking at the situation and going I could go to the Lakers and probably start, and even if I don't start, I'm probably going to play 30 minutes a game or something like that, right? I could be a huge piece for that team, contend for championships, right? Some of these centers that are looking at, Alex Len, for example, sticking with him, right? He's a guy that's probably looking at, I could go to Indiana and, yeah, I'll play some minutes, right? Maybe 10, 15 minutes, or I go to the Lakers and potentially play 20, 30 minutes. And even if I play 10 or 15 minutes, I'm playing with Luka and LeBron and playing for an NBA championship, right? Obviously, Indiana wants to try to win an NBA championship, but are they really going to be able to get through the East? Probably not, right? They have been hot recently and they figured some stuff out, but I would bet on Luka and LeBron more. Even I get people are going to be well, you're a Laker fan, of course. No, you're talking about Luka and LeBron, right? I don't care if you're a Laker hater. There's no denying Luka and LeBron. Luka's taken teams worse than this Lakers team to the conference finals in the West. So I think that the Lakers have a very good shot. They just need that center spot. But Rob Pelinka recently spoke about it and said that he is probably going to get this resolved in the next few days, right? That the Lakers they want to get the center resolved sooner rather than later. I think that's interesting because I thought the Lakers would actually be patient. Thought the Lakers would wait. But is that because of Alex Len? Right? Because I don't think Alex Len would not go to the Pacers unless he had an idea and knew, I'm probably going to go to the Lakers, right? Why would you turn down a job for a maybe? So that's kind of my thought process, that Alex Len is more likely than not probably going to the Lakers, and that Rob and him have probably already had contact and had conversations, or at least Alex Len's agent has probably been hey, what is he looking at if he was to go to you? We kind of know what he would get in Indiana. We want to know what he would get with you type thing. And they kind of worked that out, and now he's going there. Because, it just makes sense. One, again, why would you turn down a guaranteed job, especially when you already committed to signing, to just, be unemployed? Right? That's a little silly. And then two, Lakers desperately need a center. And three, Rob Pelinka just said that they're probably going to get things worked out here in the next day or two. Right? So sooner rather than later. I thought, again, this is just my thoughts, right? I thought the Lakers would be patient, kind of wait, which if Alex Len signed with Indiana, they probably would have, right? Lakers probably would have been patient. They probably wouldn't have rushed to go get a center. Probably would have waited to see, how does Trey Jamison look? How does, Christian Koloko look? Let's get looks at these guys, right? You've seen a lot more Trey Jamison recently, which I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Big, physical, sturdy, interior presence that moves well, be a little foul happy, but that's fine. Kind of need that, right? You want that kind of enforcer, that physical presence. Talked about it. Give me a guy that can give me just good, hard playoff fouls come playoff time. Nothing dirty. I don't want any, leg sweeping or anything just blatantly dirty, but it's the playoffs, right? Give me a good physical foul. No easy buckets, right? Let's bring back the 80s a little bit, baby, right? Things like that. I want to see the Lakers get a guy like that. And I think Trey Jamison could really kind of fill that void, could really fill that role for the Lakers as an option. But, if you get a guy like Alex Len, moves well, athletic, can run the floor, right? He's a little slow-footed, but he's a guy that makes sense, can be the lob threat, like do the things that you want him to do, give you some block shots and things like that. He's had some good stats over the years with some good teams. He understands his role. He knows his role. He's a veteran. He's 31, right? He's kind of been there, done that. Just gives you somebody that you can trust more. If they end up going that route, which I've kind of leaned towards, that's probably what they're going to do. And then once you get that worked out, once you get that figured out, then I think you're in good shape. Now, the question is that I see is like, well, Jordan Goodwin, because Jordan Goodwin has been killing it, right? Like, well, what do we do with Jordan Goodwin, right? Like, can we still get Jordan Goodwin? Yeah, so Jordan Goodwin can essentially finish the season on a two-way and play the 31 games or whatever that's left, 32 games, whatever. I think it's 31 games now. So he could play the rest of those games. And my guess is that they would probably, if he continues to play well, right? Obviously, if he just like nosedives, then they probably won't bring him in. But if he continues to play well, he'll probably play these games, continue to practice, continue to work on the game, and then Lakers can bring in Alex Len, sign him, and then right before the playoffs, right, waive whoever they need to waive, bring in Jordan Goodwin. Now he's ready to go for the playoffs. But he's played the entire season to where he's comfortable. He understands his role. You're not just bringing in some guy that hasn't been with the team all year into the playoffs. You're bringing in a guy that like gets it, been there, done that all season long. That's kind of how I see the Jordan Goodwin situation playing out. Obviously, so all the contracts are prorated. So depending on what their salaries would be, you kind of prorate it to now, which maybe the Lakers could get both now, depending on what that is. But chances are Lakers probably wait and be patient, probably bring in the center and then kind of see, like, also who do you want to waive, right? So, like, let's say you waive Cam Reddish, right? Well, are you waiving Christian Wood and Cam Reddish and maybe bring, like, let's say you have $300,000 left over, right? And it's like, man, Trey Jameson's really good. So, like, maybe you're waiving two other guys and bringing in Jameson because it's like, okay, we got Alex Len, now, like, who knows, right? If you're the Lakers, you want to kind of see how things are going to play out, right? Who's really standing out? What really becomes a need for you? Right now, it's like, okay, we need a center for sure. Then beyond that, it's like, okay, well, what else do we need? Okay, well, we use some point of attack defense. We could use some defense out on the perimeter. Okay, Jordan Goodwin solves that. We could use some shooting, right? Like, there's things, and you go down the list. Lakers recently brought in Stanley Johnson, right? Not to the main roster, but he signed him to the G League team, right? So he's a guy that maybe could make some sense for Lakers. Give you another 6'7", 6'8", versatile wing that has, 7-foot wingspan and all that stuff, right? Like, Lakers, I imagine, are going to take their time, navigate some stuff. What's going to happen with the Mark Williams situation, right? I think that that's probably going to be over pretty quickly. I think the Lakers, because the Lakers aren't nixing that trade for no reason, right? They're not like, hey, we got cold feet, we don't want to do this anymore. No, they're doing it because they know, like, something like, we ran him through tests, and this is what came up. So they have that data. They have that information. So they're just going to take that stuff, give it to the NBA, and go, here's why, right? And the NBA is going to look at it and go, okay, that makes sense, right? Hey, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it, right? In a perfect world, the Lakers, NBA kind of be the mediator and be like, okay, what do we need to do to get this done, right? Like, what would you feel comfortable completing this trade because Charlotte wants to complete this trade? If I'm the Lakers, I'm like, I'm keeping my first, right? I'll give you Dalton Connect, take Cam Reddish, I'll give you a pick swap. If you want another pick swap, fine. We'll give you 2 pick swaps, but I'm keeping my first. I would do that in a heartbeat, right? Because even if, let's say, Mark Williams does fall apart in 5 years, right? Like, you've probably already won a championship at that point because you have all your assets, you have all this expiring contracts, you basically replenish your pick swaps in the offseason, right? Including that second, but you'd be fine. And then you'd have $40 million in expiring contracts. You'd have your center for now and the future. You'd have Luka Doncic, right? You'd have LeBron James, Austin Reeves, everything. If you won the championship this year, beautiful. You're looking to go repeat, bring in Bruce Brown or, some shooters or whatever, right? LeBron James is supposedly willing to take a discount. You could free up your full taxpayer mid-level, right? Like, you could, all of a sudden, this team could be insanely stacked and you're going to repeat. If you don't win the championship, now you're probably in the best position you could be to win a championship. So either way, I think it's a win-win for the Lakers. But, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. The fact that Rob Pelinka, stated that, like, hey, this is going to get resolved sooner rather than later, I do think is a little interesting. But like I said, like, one in the hand is worth two in the bush. Like, who's going to become available that's better than Alex Len? that you can also sign, right? Like I would love to have like a Clint Capella, right? Like if you could buy out Clint Capella and sign with the Lakers, but you can't, right? Because Lakers can only sign guys making 12.8 million or less, which is why I wanted the Lakers to get under the cap. Because if I even said with or without the Mark Williams trade, I wanted them, could they have turned Maxi Kleba and like some pick swaps in a second or something like that and got under the cap? Because if you would have done that, you would have had all kinds of buyout options, right? Like Bruce Brown could go and request a buyout. Boom, you could bring him in. Clint Capella, again, he could request a buyout. Boom, you could go get him, right? Does Miles Turner go to Indiana and be like, hey, I want you to buy me out because I'm signing with the Lakers regardless in the offseason. So you can either, save yourself some money or lose me for nothing, right? Like, I don't think that would happen. But my point is that like you never know what opens up if you could do that. But you don't have any of those options now. So now the Lakers are very limited on what they can get and what they can do. And it's like, who's better than Alex Len? So I think that I think Rob Pelinka essentially just said that they're going to go sign Alex Len, is my thoughts. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion and I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What are your thoughts? What do you think? Do you think that the Lakers get this done ASAP? Do you think, no, like be patient, take your time? Do you like Alex Len? Do you not? However you feel, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.